So the message that I'm picking up on here is that you're walking away from a lot of different traditions, okay, that you were emotionally tied to. I feel like you had to learn a lot of different lessons surrounding traditions, religion, what the world wanted you to do, how the world wanted you to show up, how your parents wanted you to show up, right? How the people that you were in relationships wanted you to show up as, how people at work or the standards of the matrix, pretty much, I feel like you're walking away from very, very rigid and strict societal standards, and you've created your own path. And you're continuously paving your own way, even if you don't know where it's going to lead you. You're going down the path that you feel is what is best for you, and not for the world, and not for the church, or not for religion, or not for your parents, or not for your spouse, or not for your children, or not for that job you're doing, or for the traditions. I feel like you've let go a lot of traditions, maybe holidays. You don't celebrate holidays and things how you used to. I feel like a lot of the knowledge that you have is just, it's leading you specifically down a different path, down this path that you didn't know that you were going to be led down, but you like it, you love it. I feel like you spent a lot of time in isolation discovering who you are, and having a lot of ups and downs, and figuring out, okay, let me go down this path. Oh, that doesn't work. Okay, well, let me try this way then. So I feel like you've had a lot of back and forth, to and fro, because you've been exploring, you've been figuring out what does work. And so it's almost like you've been throwing things at the wall to see what sticks. It's like, oh, that doesn't stick. Okay, well, let me throw this at the wall. Oh, that doesn't stick. Let me throw this at the wall. And then, you know what? I think I like that one, even though it didn't stick to the wall. Let me go back to that one and try that one again. So again, I feel like you've had a lot of back and forth. And I also feel like that back and forth has been a lot of confusion that you have, that communities such as where you grew up at, environments and so forth, or again, these societal norms have made you confused, because it's in opposition. What you're doing is in opposition to what the society says that you should be doing. And so creating your own path and doing what you want to do has caused a lot of back and forth and confusion and inconsistency, and what is it giving me? I keep hearing persevering, but it's like where you just been doing a lot of back and forth with certain situations. Okay, but I definitely see that you're now moving forward. Okay, away from all of these ways of thinking. Okay, I see you moving forward from a lack mindset. I see you moving forward, doing what you love to do as far as work. I see you moving forward in a direction, choosing your own path. Okay, that's what I see here. Again, you have a lot of wisdom that you are able to share with many different people from many walks of life. You will be surprised who will be sent to you, or who's meant to be sent to you. Okay, because of the path that you're walking. I feel like the path that you're walking, you don't look, based upon the way you look, you don't look like you do what you do, or you know what you know, if that makes sense. It's like you have a very unconventional look, is what I am picking up on. And maybe to a little bit, to some degree, people may be able to say, oh, you're something like this, but that's only surface. They don't know the depth of who you are. And I'm getting a lot of people are just so surface, is what I'm picking up on. And it's like, that's what makes you different. You know how I said you're walking away from the emotions that you're attached to from society. Society is so surface, and it's like, so they can only see you for as far as they can see, out of their perception, which is surface. So most people, that's what makes you unique, because you are so in depth that people, I'm hearing ethereal, people, don't even really see or know how deep you go, because people can only see how deep you go as far as deep as they are. So if they're not as deep as you, they're only going to be able to see to a certain level. So let's say if you go all the way down to 20 feet, some people are only going to be, at 0 feet, right? They're able to stand, they're going to be shallow. And then you're going to have some people that kind of get you, they may go, 4 or 5 feet, it's like, okay, they kind of get it, then you're going to have the people that, okay, yeah, they spiritual, they in that thing, they at least halfway, they 10 feet deep, but it's like you're still at that 20 level, and it's, then you're going to find your people that are at 17 to 20 deep. You give a 15 to 16 to 17 to 20 deep, right? So there are a group of people that are as deep as you, but I feel like you're also meant to connect with a lot of people that are not as deep as you, because you're the ones coming into their lives to help them go deeper, to help trigger something in them. I feel like you're meant to trigger people to help them go deeper, and not trigger in a negative way. I mean, it could be a negative experience, but it doesn't always have to be a negative experience, right? I feel like you can have conversations with people or give people a different perspective on, hey, what about this? Or just the way you see things, because you can see things from a level 20, right? And they're seeing things from a level 10, so when you say things, it's automatically triggering people to remember and to wake up. And even if they don't remember in that moment, because a lot of people, they're going to reject you when they first hear you, or they're going to think that they're at a 20 when it's like, who you really are, right? Because if they were at your same level, you guys would be having that equal communication. And since you're at that level 20, you would know that, okay, yeah, this person is on my level. But if you're getting that resistance, that's how you know, okay, this person isn't ready to chew on grown food. They're still, have to have their food cut up for them, so to speak. But eventually, it's going to hit them. They can connect with other people, and then, 2 years later, their encounter with you may come back up like, oh yeah, I remember having a conversation. They may not remember your name or anything, but they're going to remember the words that you said. They're going to remember the conversations that they had with you, right? To help that's going to trigger them to be like, oh, that's where what they said fit in. You're going to be a missing piece to somebody's puzzle, is what I am picking up on. Okay. And I feel like you're out here building homes. Okay. Your spiritual knowledge is building your own home, spiritually, physically, financially, however you're building your home, right? Emotionally. But I also feel like you're put on this earth, many of you all, in whatever way that is, it's like you guys are information carriers. So you guys are meant to definitely help other people build their homes. And when I'm talking about their homes, first and foremost, yes, I'm talking about your actual physical home, your place of residence where you lay your head. But ultimately, I'm talking about your soul, your spiritual home. You're helping to make people whole, right? Within themselves. That's our true home. Where we lay our head is not our true home. I know, because I've been homeless, right? And I've had to sleep outside, right? I've had to sleep in the back of U-Haul trucks or wherever I could lay my head, right? So, ultimately, I was still at home within myself, no matter what, because we can't take any of the material things with us. And I feel like you are here to help people build their knowledge and help them to know who you are. It's given me how, even touching back on that, how a lot of people, like to talk down on people who are homeless or don't have the money because, again, of the societal norms, of the finances that people feel like one should have. Oh, choking on my own spit, trying to stop me from saying this, right? However, it's all confirmation. Those are earth angels, or however you want to call it, right? They're sent here, they're doing God's work, or they're doing the work of non-physical or of source, right? They're meant to be in certain places at certain times to help people. Even if they're not having a physical encounter with them where they're speaking to them, people even just seeing them, you never know what type of experience someone has just by looking at a person, or the thoughts that they think looking at a person and what it may trigger. So that person is sitting on the corner, or they see that person, laying under a tree because that's the home they have for that moment, or whatever. When someone else sees that, you just never know what a person is thinking to help that person. So, and sometimes they're in those positions, on the corner because they actually have physical interactions and conversations with people, to actually be able to talk to people as well, because you are the closest person doing God's work, or living out your calling and your purpose of spreading knowledge, right? Of spreading esoteric information, to where if you using me for example, if I wasn't homeless, I wouldn't have been in certain places to minister to people, so it's all a calling. And when you're on a calling, you go wherever spirit tells you to go, and it may not always be the funnest journey, but you're always provided for and taken care of. And a person may be out and be outside. That doesn't mean that they're not taken care of and provided for, because there's people that have homes all day, every day, and they're not here on this earth plane, right? Or they have all the homes and everything else, but they're going through in another way, or they're not happy, or their health is declining, right? So just wanted to throw that out there. But I just wanted to get this message out to whoever it is for, okay? This is the best way for me to deliver this message. A lot of times I get most of my downloads when I'm not camera ready, so to speak, or when it's just, when I'm in my own time. And when I say not camera ready, just meaning it's not the appropriate, not far as my looks, but it's just I'm in my own zone. I'm coming directly out of a meditation or something like that, and I can't set up how I would normally set up. And it's like, these are the immediate channels and downloads that I'm receiving, and this is actually more natural for me, because it's not said it's not. It's just more authentic for me, to be able to deliver messages like this a lot of the times, versus having to set up in the matrix way. Let's get the camera set up, and you make sure everything is set up properly as far as the background, and make sure the aesthetic is on point. That deters from the message. So to me, this is a more pure, thank you, Spirit. This is a more pure way of delivering the messages. The screen is dark. You can just hear what the message is and tune in and really hear what needs to be said. So this message was for who it's for. And I thank you all so much for tapping in and listening. Okay. And you all can connect with me down below in the description bar, and I will see you all in the next one. I am motivational speaker, LATRICE. Peace.